Buenas and Hafide. I am Derick Baza-Hills. Before I continue, I want you to know that this is a personal video recording message from me to the people of Guam and to those of you out there who have not decided on who to vote for senator in the next Guam Legislature. I want you to know who my family is first. I am the grandson of Pete Untalon and Julie Regis Baza of Agate and George Wilbur and Guadalupe Mendiola Hills of Agana Heights. I am the proud son of Ike and Pinky Baza-Hills. My father is a retired Guam Police Department officer, and my mother continues to work in the government of Guam. Due to the untimely passing of my father in 2005, I grew up most of my life without a father figure. That is an experience that many of our youth and families have also experienced, even to the extent of not having parents or grandparents, and have been given the blessings to provide shelter and loving families through the adoption programs on our island. But that is because the good Lord continues to watch over many of us. Ladies and gentlemen, this election is unprecedented. People are tired of the politics of division, and they're tired of candidates tearing one another down. I believe we should spend time trying to lift one another up. Manilud and Mainanahu, Guahu si Derick Baza-Hills, Tautau Hagazu. Ekangong esti por favor. Nihi ta ajuda I islahta, dan todo I Tautau Guahan. Nihi ta ajuda I famaguan dan man amko, na famaulik todo. Mga kaibigan kong Pilipino, ako po si Derick Baza-Hills. Kailangan ko ang tulong niyo. Tumatakbo akong parang senator ng Guam Legislature. Huwag kalimutan. Ako magaling, ako po ang inyong kaibigan. That summarizes just what I've had the opportunity to learn while being a student at the University of Guam. Exciting and extraordinary. I graduated in 2014, but I continue my studies in education under the Masters of Public Administration program. My platform this election is about making a higher education affordable for many of you and to those of the families that send their kids to school. This affects 20,000 members of our community. But we also have to be creative to provide ideas that provides tax break incentives to businesses that offset the cost of tuition for their employees. But that is not limited to just the private sector. My platform also addresses the public sector. For many employees who are gridlocked of their salaries and depend on whether a minimum wage is increased, we also have to be mindful that everyone should be provided the opportunity to grow and to continue to be able to live day by day without having to provide a paycheck that just pays out the utilities to fill up their gas tanks and to put groceries on the table. Guam can do much better. That is why this election is very critical and important. Make educated choices. When we talk about economic stability, ladies and gentlemen, Derick Baza-Hills has the kind of ideas to support single parents that is a growing racket on this island. We need to provide an office at home policy for mothers who have just given birth to their newborn, because in the first few months of birth, it is very critical that the communication between a mother and child is developed properly. We also have to improve the infrastructure of our southern villages and the roads that have been neglected over the past decades, to protect our environment, most importantly from erosion that threatens many lives and families who live along the coastal lines, mainly in Pneumatic, Agate, Talafofo, and Narahan, and in villages where reefs are deteriorating due to climate change and global warming. A combination of all these needs to be provided short-term and long-term solutions. But it takes all of us to come together, to work together bipartisanly. Enough of the rhetoric and speeches. I think people have heard a lot of it. But Derick Baza-Hills is an advocate for just that, to make sure that we provide substantial ideas, to make sure our people continue to have hope and believe that the future is much more better for their children, to give the confidence to our manamko to know that we can continue our culture and teach the language to our children. Just like I have stated earlier in this message, I have just had the few of the opportunities being at the University of Guam to learn, whether you learn Filipino or Chamorro. It is about making sure you continue what is beneficial and positively affects our community. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this recording, but I want to continue to make sure you know that there are people who are running for office who care deeply about this island, and one of those is Derick Baza-Hills. I am number 2 on the Democratic side on the ballot. In 15 days, you will make important decisions. Who will lead our government in the next 4 years? Who will be in the Guam Legislature for the next 2? Ladies and gentlemen, I humbly ask for your support. I continue to believe that Guam can see better days ahead, but it is up to us as an island community to empower one another, to make sure that a higher education isn't decided by your income, but because you have the expertise, the experiences, trade skills, and education commitment, you should be given that opportunity to seek a higher education, to graduate just like I have at the University of Guam, to seek out the trade skills at the Guam Trade Academy at the Guam Community College. We need to address the rising cost of utilities by being proactive, not reactive. We need to make sure that single parents have leaders who care deeply about them, that youth have the rehabilitation programs that are continue to be funded by this government, whether at Sanctuary or at the Department of Youth Affairs, to make sure that our environment is protected from the continued erosions down south. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to listen carefully to every candidate in the next 15 days. Make the smart decisions. Be educated about their platforms. I ask you to go to derickforguam.com and you can read my platform, which is substantial and concrete. I love Guam. I would not want anything less for you, the people of Guam, and the youth and our manamko to make sure that they can seek out to achieve their goals and their dreams come true right here at home. I thank you. God bless you. I love you, Guam. Si Zeus Maraming salamat po.